I'm going to cover networking through files. I have 3 tasks, task 1, task 2 and task 3, and I've created 3 files on the server side and the client side for each task accordingly. Now let's look at the client first. In the client, since the client communicates first and the server listens, I have an infinite loop where the client is first taking in the message, and then the client will read. It will take in the message, it's going to write the message in the client.pin file, and then if the file on the server side has not been created yet, it will wait until the file is created. Once it's created, it will go to the end. It will save the offset. It will check if the offset is changed or not. Once the offset is changed, which means the new message is added, it will come back, seek 128 bytes backwards, read the message, and then print it on the client console. So it's waiting for 1 millisecond and checking for the offset change, and it's waiting for 2 milliseconds if the file is not created on the server side. It's opening the client file in the AB plus mode where it will append the new messages to the server, and then it's reading the reading file, that is the server file, it's opening it in the RB mode. Similarly, this is what happens on the server side also. It reads the messages first, waits if the offset is not changed, and then it will display the message, and then again it will enter, and then it will display. So I'll run the client and the server. So this is the client, this is the server. So this is saying enter a message. I've entered a message and it's there. Similarly, I've entered another message and then that message is also here. So this is how the communication goes on. This is for the task 1. Now I'm going to look at task 2. Task 2 is also very similar to task 1, except that in task 2 I'm only using one file for both the server and the client, and I'm not using 2 files. This is a little different, but nevertheless it's pretty much the exact same code on both the client and the server side. So on the client side, again, the client will communicate first. So the client has started. It's opening the file. If the file is not yet created, since client communicates first, if the file is not yet created, it will create the file, that is by opening it in WB mode, and then it will close again. Then it will open it in the RB plus mode. So while 1, that is an infinite loop, it's defining a message of 128 bytes. It's flushing the input just to clear it up. Then it's asking for an input. Then it's taking in the input, it's seeking the end, and then it's appending the message there. Now it's time to wait for the server to enter something. So it's taking the current offset, and if the offset has changed, it's checking up for every 1 second, it's changing if the offset has changed. If it has changed, then it will come out, seek 128 bytes in reverse, so which will point to the starting of the latest message. It will set the message buffer to 0 just to clear it up. Then it will read the message and then print. So this is very, very similar to the server. The server is pretty much the same. It's again defining, it's waiting here, since server will first receive and then write. So it's first receiving, then after that it's writing. So it's very similar. Now I'll try to run both. So I'm running client 2 and I'm running server 2. So now client is asking us to enter a message for the server. I'm entering hey. Hey is immediately reflected. Then I'm entering some other message, hello, and hello is also reflected here. So this communication goes so on and so forth. Then it's reflected here. So that's it. This is very simple. Then the third task is to use threading concepts so that there is no concept of the server saying it has to listen first, and then the client saying that it has to write first. Both the server and the client will be in speaking and listening modes simultaneously. To achieve that, what I have done is that I've used another thread in addition to the main thread that is always on when a program runs. When I'm using another thread, what happens is that this thread will start a process in its own, which will help to run a parallel process. So two programs are running 4 processes here, and these processes can read and write at the same time, so that you don't always have to wait for the server to reply before the client can send multiple messages. So client can send any number of messages, server can send any number of messages, and they can keep listening, so on and so forth. So the code is that I've defined I'm first taking 2 files. One file is for the client chat, one file is for the server chat. Then I'm creating the file for the client if it's not created already. Then I'm entering the messages for the server. I'm asking it for the input. Then I'm creating a thread which will call this function on its creation called threadfunc. This function will open the server file in the read mode, and if it's null, it will keep waiting and creating again and again until it's not null. And in an infinite loop, it's going to check when the offset is changed for every 0.5 seconds, and once it's changed, it's going to go 128 bytes behind and read the message and display it. And at the same time, what is happening is it's also taking the input. So while the input is not null, that is, we can break the input cycle using a Control D or a Control Z, and every enter will also write a new message every time we press an enter or return carriage character. So it's seeking, it's writing, and it's again setting it, and it's closing the file, opening the file. This is what happens, and it's similar on the server side. There's no change. I'm just opening 2 files. The only difference is this one opens the client file in the read mode and the server file in the write mode. It's just the same code. So I'll run this, and I'm gonna run the client now. So both of them are running, and we can enter anything, any message, anywhere. So let's try multiple messages here. I'm entering hey, hey is reflected, hi, hi is reflected, hello. So everything is reflected. It doesn't have to wait for a reply from the server before it sends something again. So this is asking, how are you? Are you there? So it's working. This is how I've implemented this.